She Vets It. And our first segment of 2026, we're celebrating 5 years of building this community with our Where Are They Now series, bringing back early guests and supporters. Today, we're starting with licensed psychologist and author Dr. Tanya Crabb. Welcome to She Vets It.
Hey, so glad to be here.
I know it's always great talking to you. Every time we have a conversation, I would say, we need to record this. But we pretty much do a podcast in our phone conversations. I'm like, oh my gosh, we talk about some of the coolest topics, thought provoking. I'm so glad to have you here. And as this is our 5th anniversary. She Vets It. Yes. And I can't believe time just flew by. And during COVID, wow, She Vets It, we jumped on Clubhouse. That's how we met. How did you find out about Clubhouse and how did you find out about She Vets It?
So weird and random story. I had heard about Clubhouse. There were like whispers of it in different social media spots. And then one day, I think it was like New Year's Eve, I was like, let me jump on Clubhouse. And the first Clubhouse I jumped on was something hosted by Tiffany Haddish. And I was like, I don't think this is like a space that's everything they say it is. And then she actually talked to someone who was on the space. And I was like, wait a minute. She did. She had a whole conversation with someone who was on the space. And I was hearing her talk to all the different celebrities. And I was like, wow, I feel like I'm at a party. Like I got invited to a party and I don't even know how I got in the room. So that was how I first started with Clubhouse. And then once I learned that, I was like, oh, let me see who else is on Clubhouse. And then I discovered you because I am always going to be like looking for my fellow female veterans. And I found your spot. And I am so glad that I found your spot because it was everything. I feel like, especially in that time, having that sense of connection, having that sense of sisterhood, that made like it was everything. When we were isolating, it was everything to find a space where you felt like you belonged.
Yes, I agree. I think for me, getting on Clubhouse, I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to find my people because I said, I know that we veterans tend to struggle from time to time. And then during COVID, that even heightens everything. So I said, let me see if I can find my tribe, see what we're doing, encourage one another. But it wasn't just about me encouraging. Look, I needed encouragement too. It was about finding other people that we could all pour into one another. And that's what you did. You came into Clubhouse, you added value, you poured into the ladies. I remember you did a room, the B word. And that was boundaries, talking about boundaries. And you also did a room helping those that were getting reacclimated back to working from home, remote job, and actually, oh, wow, going back to the workplace. That was a stressor for many. They got comfortable being home, working in their PJs. And now you got to deal with traffic and deal with work politics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was huge. And so I so appreciate the times that you poured into the young ladies. We all volunteered. This was nothing. No one got paid to do this. Everyone showed up for one another. And even today, we still are showing up for one another. And so that's what I like. We grew a community. And it's not just a community, but we built like friendships, like real friendships. Like I've been to your house like quite a few times. And I'm so appreciative of our sisterhood because we talked the other day about we've really built a friendship, and it's really about building connections, real connections, and going from there.
Yeah, and that means a lot, especially as a female veteran, because we're invisible. In the world, we are invisible. Unless you're wearing your vet t-shirt or you got your vet plates, like you're walking around and no one's necessarily thinking that you had that connection to service. And also, it's a really unique experience to be a woman in a male-dominated arena. And in those spaces, we get to talk about it. We get to share about it. We get to put that down. And we get to connect with not only the veteran parts of ourselves, but the other parts of ourselves as well. Like you said, it's a sisterhood. We get to form community. And community is really important when we're in the service. But once you leave the service, sometimes you lose community. And it's hard to find them again. So, yeah, we found each other. We lifted each other up. I'm always so proud and amazed. Even though I belong right now to a female Marine Facebook group, and I'm always so proud and amazed at the way the sisters tap in for each other. They're like, call me, text me. Oh, I'll do that for you. Or if you're in the area, I'll come visit you. I'll see you at the hospital.
Mm.
I'll look people up for you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. I love it. So, you are a licensed psychologist. So, you
Mhm.
got out the Marines and you decided to be a psychologist. What inspired you to go that route? Were you a psychologist in the Marines or was that a new career path?
It was a new career path. And it's interesting that when I was in my training, the thing that I was most passionate about was trauma. Because life's life, and then sometimes things happen to people that are painful and that's disruptive. So I was really fascinated by studying trauma, and then my original intent was my military population because I saw the things that happened throughout the service. I saw the ways in which even past traumas would show up, and I was like, I want to be someone who can help support someone as they grow through these things, not get over, but grow through these things and become stronger and better version of themselves. That was what led me down the path. And it was a bumpy path. I'm not gonna lie. Like, fun fact, I got my doctorate at 47 years old. True story.
Wow, that's nice. That says a lot. That says that you can start anywhere.
Yep.
There's not a time limit to when you can start. If
No,
you, yeah, so I love that.
you're gonna be on this planet regardless. Like time is gonna pass no matter what you do. So you might as well make the most of your time. I was gonna be 47, whether I had a doctorate degree or not. So why not? Why not? Why not do that thing? Why not do the thing that you want? Don't tell yourself you're too old to do the thing. You're not going to get younger. So you might as well do the thing.
That is so true. What were some of your challenges that almost had you stop what you're doing
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
forward?
My challenge because I did not fully comprehend my power and my worth when I first started out. So there was second guessing, there was waiting for permission, there was trying to see if it was okay with everybody. All of the things that show up like, who am I to do this thing? How dare I? Or is it going to be good enough? And those are the things that stood in my way was my own personal history, my own personal story, because there will always be people on the outside that tell you that you can't. But if you think you can, they won't matter.
Yes. And that's why it's so important. I heard someone say you need a power circle.
Yeah,
And then you also need a life board of directors
yeah,
for your life. Like
yeah,
not for your business, but for your life.
yeah, and
Someone you can talk to about getting in shape, someone you can talk to about your finance, someone you can talk about your career, all
yeah,
those different things. And so, who is your power circle? Who are the people that you can pour into each other? And they don't have to have the same skill set, they could have a background that is different from yours, but they actually have a wealth of knowledge that you both can exchange because they say iron sharpens iron.
yeah.
So, I love that. What advice would you give to a veteran who may be struggling getting out the military and trying to find that next chapter?
Give yourself permission to figure it out. Don't feel like you're failing because you haven't figured it out. I tell people that so the psychology degree, when I got my bachelor's way back in 1999, I went through 5 different majors. Like, I had no clue of who it is that I wanted to be. And ultimately, I settled on psychology. And then I paused for a moment because I was like, yeah, is that? And I worked for a moment. And then I went back to the thing that brought me joy. So as you're coming out, it's okay if you're not clear of who you are now, especially if you spend a long time in the military. You had an identity that was forged, and now you have to reshape and be reborn into a new identity, and the birthing process takes time. So give yourself grace. And you're speaking about a life board of directors. Also, surround yourself with people who want the best for you, not what they want for you, but they want the best for you. And your board of directors, the one thing they should have in common is that you matter to them and they want you to be successful, not their ego, not their skill set. Oh, I've done X, Y, and Z, so I know this. And as you're thinking about your board of directors, look at your current relationship tree and see if you need to prune a few branches. What's there?
Yes, definitely. Take an inventory because sometimes there's people that are here for a season, a reason, in a lifetime. And who are those people? And some people are not supposed to stay in every chapter of your life.
Yep.
And being able to, the sooner you can determine that, because who I was in high school and the people I'm around in high school is different from the people I'm around today. Because not everyone from high school decided to mature. So you want to be around people that have decided to evolve and to grow. And a lot of times people fall away, not because we push them out the way, but they fall away because of the new version that we evolved into. And sometimes we may have guilt in that because we're like, oh my gosh, that was my good friend. And you want them to go with you along the way. But how do you, I guess one question is, how do you select those people that you want to have in your life?
Couple things. When you were talking about people falling away, I think it doesn't have to be a horrible process. It could just be, I'm so grateful for the role that you served, and now we go on divergent paths, and that's okay.
Mhm.
And in order to find the right people to be part of my circle, it was really important to understand me, and my reasons for staying with a relationship. Is it history? Is it guilt? And recognizing and owning the discomfort that comes with having boundaries around how I want to be treated. And as you're growing and as you're evolving, those people in your life that aren't able to shift, and it's okay. Maybe it's not their journey, it's your journey. I couldn't make excuses anymore. Or that's just how they were, but this didn't happen. So I had to have integrity with myself so I can have integrity with the relationship. And honestly, having integrity with a relationship is the best gift you can give someone, because nobody wants to be around for pity, history, or just because.
Yeah.
They want to have a relationship with you that's grounded in love and acceptance. And if they're only there because you haven't figured out how to get rid of them, you're dishonoring both of you.
Yes, definitely. I would say too, sometimes, because I'd be trying to keep everybody with me, but I would say sometimes people may away when you evolved and you're not the same person that you used to be, which you should grow. If you grow, you should grow into a new version of you, a more mature version of you. And sometimes people can feel some kind of way when that happens. And I know that's not the direction that we were going to go in this conversation, but that's how we hold conversations. We
How
will
we
go.
flow. That is
But
how we flow. And
that's
that's
how
okay.
we flow because we could do this for 4 hours, but I want to get back on track and talk about when I first met you. You were coming out with this book, and that is Living a Dream, a military coming of age story. And so I got my copy, and I thought I had a signature, one with the autograph, but I'm gonna have to go back and pay you a visit so I could get you to sign it.
Consider it done. And I
Yeah.
want to show you something. This is how she looks now.
Nice. I love it. Yes, yes.
So
And you also have another one, right? Oh, yes.
I
Tell me the
do.
story about that one.
Oh, so the reason she looks so, it's so funny because that first book represented a version of me, where the version of me that was not comfortable centering stories around women of color in, so it's like I had to dilute it. I had to make it pop. But then I came back and I realized that it's okay. Everybody gets to have their full story being seen. And that's how the jacket for this was born. And it was actually born because of my second book, which is Water Motrin and a Change of Socks.
And that's the one that just came out, right?
This is the one that just came out. And so I named it that because everybody in the military knows what that is.
Yes. Motrin. What did we
Yeah.
say? We said Motrin. If you got a splinter, Motrin. You got a backache, Motrin. Headache, Motrin.
Your relationship got ruined, Motrin.
Motrin solves everything.
Motrin solves everything. And so the thing that's interesting and beautiful about both books is that the character from the second book was in the first book.
Okay.
So you meet her at the very end. And so the first book was about a woman leaving her abusive home life, entering the military, finding happiness, peace, joy, safety, and then she gets deployed to war. And then that's when she has to come into her own because war changes everything, right? And
Yes.
she has to deal with all kinds of things, scud alerts, assault attempts. And that's where she learns and discovers herself, which is why it's a coming of age story. And this chick right here, Tiffany, from the first book, she was fun to write because she's a mess. And when I say she's a mess, she enlists because her brother got murdered and she feels responsible for his death. So she enlists to fulfill his contract, but she brings with her anger, her grief, her smart mouth, and
Mm,
all of those things showing up in the military lead to some really interesting results. So this is in a lot of ways a lot of a coming of age book as well because she discovers you cannot run pain, you cannot run guilt. You
mm.
can't just bury it and keep walking, which is something that we all do. You have to confront, face, and heal from it. So both of these are a journey of growth and healing from two very different lenses. Two very different lenses.
So when you say that, I immediately thought about Erica Badu, Bag Lady. So you're gonna hurt your back carrying all that weight like that. So the thing is really not sitting in it, but stopping when we feel certain things and acknowledge it as it's going on. I know if you feel like crying, don't hold the tears in. Cry if you feel that emotion. I seen something recently. It was someone said that when you talk to someone and every time you talk to them and they're really hypersensitive about every little thing is because they have all this suppressed anger, things that they haven't been able to express. So that's why they're hypersensitive about everything. But if they just talk those things through, everything, like never let it pile up. If you need to address something, address it in the present.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
wait, hold up. That bothered me.
yeah.
Because if
And
you leave, you're gonna be thinking about, "I should have said something because that bothered me."
a couple things. So if this were the song Bag Lady and Tiffany were the person, she would be hitting people with her bag because that's how she carries her baggage. She come out swinging. So
Oh.
she she's the one where nah, it's on you this time. And to your point, what happens is that there are a lot of people in this world who have experienced traumatic experiences, and their nervous systems cope how their nervous systems cope. For some people, that looks like fight,
Yeah.
physically, emotionally, psychologically. They gonna
Mhm.
fight you. For some people, that looks like flight. They're gonna recede into themselves. They're gonna silence themselves. You're not gonna hear from them. They're gonna try and pull back from the world. For some people, that's freeze. They literally are just locked in, and they can't connect with their bodies. They can't connect with their minds. They're just not able to do it. And then there's the fawn people. And the fawn people are the ones that they use the term people pleasers, which I don't really like. So the fawn people is like, what do I have to do to stay safe? What do I
Mhm.
need to stay? Do I need to agree with you to stay safe? Do I need to not do the thing to stay safe? Do I need to abandon myself in order to,
Compromise.
yeah, in order to maintain safety and connection? When we want people to come out and say, this bothered me, it really depends on how your nervous system responds to trauma. For some people, oh hell yeah, the minute you do something, they're gonna be all up on you, talking about, I'm gonna need you to back up. But for some
Mhm.
people, it's oh, I gotta preserve this relationship at all costs. So even
Mhm.
if it means surrendering my dignity and myself, I'm
Mhm.
gonna say whatever I need to say to do this relationship because ultimately your nervous system determines when you feel safe. And
Mhm.
when you feel safe, you do that thing. You can ask that question. You can make that statement because you trust that even if you make the statement, the relationship's not going to blow up or backfire on you. Or, and that it's more important to maintain your sense of self and dignity than it is to preserve a relationship that doesn't respect you.
I love that. I love that. Definitely, I've tried to confront more, address things in the present so that I don't think back and like, I should have said something. So I try to operate in the area of advocating for myself.
I want to say this though, it took me a lifetime to find my voice. And
Mm.
here's the beautiful thing. If you didn't do it in the moment doesn't mean you can't do it. You can always double back and be like, you know what? That thing you said
Yes, you know what? I didn't catch it the
bothered
first time,
me.
but let me tell you something.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
after reflection, that was not nice what you said to me, and I didn't
Yeah.
like. So you
Well,
can always double back.
you could
So
double
you
back. Okay. You know
always
what? Actually, sometimes double back gives you time to process it correctly,
that
just in
part.
case when you first heard it, you misunderstood it.
Yeah,
But if you understood it the first time, it's good to address it, then I always say tactfully.
Yes.
If you don't have tact, then double back.
Yes.
Think about it and then come back. But if you are experienced and very tactful and you are able to process it and know what it is that took place in the present, then a boundary was somebody crossed your boundary and you want to address it, you know what it is, it's clear, you're clear of what that is, then it's okay. But like you said, double back because sometimes it gives you time to really think about it. I
Yeah.
remember in the military, I had to address someone and I let some things slide. But when I got home, I really thought about it and I processed it and I thought about it and I came very tactful. And it was after I addressed the person, it was very tactful. I learned what I did was I didn't attack the person, I attacked the behavior. And because I didn't attack the person, after that, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, what did you say to Mr. Such and such?" Because every morning is, "Oh, good morning, Sergeant Williams." They're like, what did you say to him?" And I still left him with his dignity, but I still stood my ground. I still spoke to him in a way that it was like I said, I left him with his dignity, and I also was very tactful, and I addressed the issue, and I also gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said, "I'm not sure if you're aware of this, and maybe this wasn't your intention, but this is what it appeared to me, and I just wanted to bring to your attention just in case I'm wrong." Now I know in my head I was complete. I knew he knew what he was saying when he said it, but just so that he didn't have his guard up and wouldn't hear me out, I let him know I'm not saying this is what it is, but this is what it appeared, and you may not be aware of it. But yes,
You
so
said you said two super important things. So one of
mhm.
my favorite quotes is tact is the ability to tell someone to go to hell in such a way they look forward to the trip.
Yes.
And
Look,
you, and you
that is my motto. When I say how to be tactful, that's exactly my motto is that there's many ways that you can tell someone to take the elevator straight down nonstop. But you say it in such a way that they enjoy the trip. But I but those are lessons that I learned and those are ways that, as we go out in the world and we start dealing with different people and interacting with people in the military. And as we become civilians, being tactful is so important. You have to learn how to be tactful, but also be able to stand your ground, be tactful enough to stand up for yourself.
the other thing that you said was super important is having time to process. And that's really important because it really is nervous system dependent, right? Because if you're in a high state of emotional activation, your prefrontal cortex is offline. You don't have the capacity to interact in the ways in which you want to interact. So knowing that and determining because you want to respond, you don't want to react.
Mhm.
So knowing that is really important. And also that's again noticing how your nervous system responds to certain situations and taking a beat. I tell people it's okay to practice a pause. You don't have to answer right now. You could just smile away, but you just sit with it, let it hit, and then decide how it's landing in your body. And depending on how it's landing in your body, deciding how you want to respond. If
Mhm.
your first response is a heightened emotional state, that may not be the best response for you. And you may want to take some time. So, not everyone's going to be able to do it in the minute, and that's okay. And also learning how to regulate your nervous system so that you can show up and be present, so that you can respond how you want to respond is really super important.
What are some of the amazing things you've been doing for the last 5 years? Because I've seen you online, I've seen you dancing on TikTok, I've seen you do a lot of amazing things. I've seen you on the news, different things. So I want you to share us some of your accolades and some of your accomplishments during the last 5 years, and then also where are you going now? What is up next?
Okay, so it's been a really exciting 5 years. 2020, I turned 50. Woot woot. I love me some 50. The 50s and up, man. 50 is magic. I just need you to know that 50 and up is magic. Don't rush there, but when you get there, it's going to be cool. So, since the last time that you and I got together, I've gotten on TikTok, like you mentioned, which I got to give you credit for because You were the one that convinced me to get on TikTok, and now I'm living my best TikTok life. I
Yes.
have done keynote presentations. I did this keynote for 750 people. I got a standing ovation. It was awesome and fantastic and magical. I've done a number of different presentations. I've been on the news no less than 6 times. I get called from News 3, which is our local affiliate station, to talk about things that are going on in the community. And I have fully stepped into the light because the me that you met before I got on TikTok, before you convinced me, would have been like, yeah, so I got someone else you could call. I'm not doing that anymore. I have written my second book. During that time I had published my first book, which is wonderful. I'm working on my third book, which is a whole nother thing, which is not military related. I am looking really heavily into creating opportunities and spaces to share mental health resources with people who may not be able to afford therapy, or people who may not necessarily be open to therapy, because I want mental health to be a lifestyle and not just an office visit. So that's my whole thing with that. And so I've created this workshop called Burning Bright Without Burning Out, because this year, listen, it's only like what, day 8? It's already been a lot. It's already been a lot. And all the years before, ever since COVID, I feel like COVID was like just a family reunion of problems. And then it just kept coming from there. I want to show up in spaces where people are, which is why I'm on TikTok, because I want to make mental health accessible. I want to make mental health engaging. I don't know. What do I want to do next? Honestly, a lot of things. I'm at this young 55 years of age. I'm thinking sky's the limit. Why not? Hey, anybody filming a commercial? Come see me. I want to do a commercial.
And your
Okay.
podcast, you want to start your podcast. That means,
Yeah.
look, we're speaking it, so that means you got to do it.
Oh, dang. So,
The clock is starting now. What is the date? What is the date?
I'm looking to launch in the spring, and for the reasons, because I love having conversations around mental health. And I think it's part of everything. So I just want to talk to people about mental health, what they learned, what they discovered, because it's real and we're human, and why the hell not? So yeah, okay, now I got a clock ticking. Dang.
See, and that's what I love about She Vets It, when all of us that are really still connected, is accountability.
Mhm.
You definitely want to be around people that are going to push you to, hey, keep going. I'm going, you go, keep going. Look, and you got me going, because I had to dust off my mic and everything to be
Oh
here today. I had to rearrange. I'm like, oh, I haven't been in this room in a minute. But
man.
I'm so glad that we got a chance to connect. And when you were talking about burnout, I had to really learn how to step back, because I got invited to speak in different spaces, universities, oh my gosh, in so many different spaces. And during the podcast, I had to put that on the back burner, because trying to do that and try to continue and add more things to my plate, it could be a lot. So you have to know when to say yes
Yep.
and when to say no. And your no has to be without hesitation, without guilt. Your no is no, because your yes are expensive. Your
Yeah.
yes requires your time, sometimes your resources, sometimes your money. It requires it, and time you can't get back.
Yeah. And Tony Jones said a dishonest yes is an honest no to yourself. So the 3 B's: boundaries, burnout, balance.
I love that. And the thing is, the most important thing to add to that is that we have to be our own best cheerleader, advocate. We got to be our cheerleader and our advocate, because when you're an advocate for yourself, you take up for yourself. You're like, no, I can't do that. That's too much. You're
Yeah.
telling yourself that's too much for you. You've done enough. No, not right now. It's a beautiful thank you for considering me, but right now it's just not. It doesn't fit in my schedule. But I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. And if I have time, I'll try to circle back and see if I can add it later, at a later date. So no does not mean never, but it could mean a later date when you're able. So that's what I've had to do. And so even if that required me not doing She Lets It Live, I had to pull back so that I could take care of me.
You
So
know, my word for this year, I don't do resolutions anymore, because if I was going to do the thing, I should have started the thing before the new year started. But I definitely do intentions. Start your day with intention. Check your intentions. What are your intentions for you? What are your intentions for others? Because if we are not intentional, then life just happens to us.
Yes, yes. I love that. I know me and you, we could talk. Like when I tell you we could talk, because we talked about doing a podcast together. So look, I don't know if if that's another thing that we got to put on the list. But anyway,
We were going to do films. Let's do it.
oh yes, okay, we got to do it. So look, now that we're on the podcast, we got to actually now do it because we done told everybody we're going to do it. So we're going to do that. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on. I just wanted to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for helping to curate She Vets It, because She Vets It is not just our Althea thing. It was a community of women that came together to pour into each other. Although I may be the founder and God may have given me a vision and I keep it afloat, but there are other people that are paddles this boat with me. So I just want to thank you so much for being one of those key pillars with She Vets It. And again, I'm sure you've spoken into so many different ladies' lives. Women have had aha moments, and so they appreciate you. And so I just want to say that here. So again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to again pour into the She Vets It community. You could be anywhere else, but you choose to be here. Time is something you cannot get back, and I do appreciate you seeing that your time is worth spending here with us. So
Thank
thank you
you.
again.
And thank you for your heart. And thank you for the opportunity. And thank you for always sharing and supporting your sister veterans. It means so much to be seen and understood in those spaces. So thank you.
5 years of She Vets It, and this is just the beginning. Stay tuned, share this episode, and join us as we continue the Where Are They Now series.